What we have done already in the last years is reducing CO2s by 70%. And all the industry, it means the aircraft manufacturers, the engine manufacturers, and also the airlines, we are trying to reduce the fuel consumption as much as possible. But what we also would like to see is that also the government, in particular in Europe, for example, are assuming responsibility. What I just said, for example, is if we would have a single European sky, comparing with one air traffic control system in the United States, we could immediately reduce our CO2 output by more or less 10 million tons per year. Okay, what we have introduced as at one of the first airlines in Europe, for example, we offer our client some kind of compensation of CO2. So our clients can choose to fly carbon neutral. Okay, what we have, for example, if you make a reservation online in our system, so at the very end we have calculated how much CO2 the passenger is responsible for, and then what he can do, he can donate an amount between 2 and 5 euros. This depends on the distance of the route, and this amount is going into a project actually reducing CO2s. I think what is in the public right now, that clients are looking for environmental friendly solutions. So the tour operator who is not offering, for example, carbon neutral flights, for example, or carbon neutral stays in some of the countries, will have a problem to survive. Actually, this is what I cannot guess, but what I realize right now in Europe is that the environmental conscious is getting more and more, and for example, for a lot of people, flying in an airline and not compensating their flight, for example, is not possible. So it means right now that I think that the major part of the traveling population will choose environmentally friendly vacations. So this is a pressure, it's the same. For example, nobody is going to smoke in a room if somebody doesn't want it. So I think it's the same as saying, okay, I'm not traveling on an unfriendly environmental way. On the short term is we have to see what's going to happen with the Boeing 787, which is supposed to reduce NOx as well as CO2 by more or less 20%. And then we have to see what other techniques, for example, is there any possibility to substitute kerosene, for example, like algae or whatever they are just testing. And as you probably have heard, that the IATA has a vision by 2050 zero emissions. So it means the industry will do it, and I'm convinced that we will find a way to reduce our kerosene consumption.